Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. So I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. Uh, I'm officially just on the clock waiting for earnings season to get going, and it can't come soon enough. Uh, in the meantime, there's been some nice opportunity for one-off news events here and there. We got the Disney Analyst Day, Investor Day tomorrow, and I mean, that's going to be a pretty big event. Also, there's been some nice setups for swings, which I've been going over a little bit more just over like the last couple weeks, as you know, as it was kind of like a quiet period for earnings, focused a little bit more on swings. So uh, what I've been looking at, and what I've talked about a couple times now is rotation, right? So still looking for like that major flight to other sectors, right? The major breakout in energy, the major breakout in financials, which is probably going to hinge on how Friday goes with J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo. Major breakout in retail, and that's what this video is going to be talking about. Um, and you're probably wondering why, with the options to play letter, right, where you'll see certain stocks within certain sectors pop up in bunches, right? So it's like, for a while we were riding a lot of the software stocks, and prior to that, it may have been like the banks or the retail or bios, right? So it's not a coincidence. It's in this type of market when you got a lot of like program driven trading, right? Just there's a lot of correlation in stocks within sectors. I mean, even if there really shouldn't be, like there tends to be because it's just really steady program buying, program selling, right? So, when you see like a sector like, I talked about energy, but when you see a sector like retail, right? Like you're starting to see a lot of retail setting up in bullish setups. So looking for bullish breakouts because just like the sector, right? I mean, it's like the sector performance. You're starting to see a lot of names starting to move together, and Williams Sonoma was one. So Williams Sonoma was one I talked about in a letter a couple of days ago, and you can see, I mean, very clearly, right, hanging right at the top of resistance. Uh, Trying to work on that breakout, still looking for that high volume, high participation move, right? Um, and now Walmart. So this is obviously like the biggest retail brick and mortar retailer. Not named Amazon, right? And I feel like this is starting to set up now too. I can make the argument with like another handful of other names, but I wanted to focus on Walmart, kind of for the same reason I wanted to focus on Williams Sonoma. It's names that had strong numbers that hadn't really been rewarded. Okay, and yes, Walmart had this quick move up to 104 and change, but it immediately gave it back, right? And kind of like going back to Williams Sonoma really quick, but like Williams Sonoma, it had a really solid number, but it basically popped and then dropped and gave it all back, right? So I'm kind of focusing on the ones that are in bullish setups that had strong earnings and really didn't get rewarded for it. So that's why Williams Sonoma, and now I'm looking at Walmart. And I feel like what's interesting about Walmart is, yes, technically it hasn't broke out just yet, right? So it's still underneath 100, which is like the key level here. But there's some positive signs under the surface, right? Some rumblings that this thing could be getting ready to go. And what you can see is, over the last 4 days here, got through the fast moving 8 EMA above the 20, above the 50, and it's built like this quick base here. And that's really a different scenario than anything it had done since it reported, right? So rolled over, and then it was basically chopping around, and basically at no point between when it reported and now has it like been able to really establish support again above most of its near-term moving averages. So you got this quick base, right? You got this quick base. The sector's starting to act better. Possible rotation into the group. What better name than Walmart, right? Like the biggest brick and mortar retailer out there, coming off a really solid quarter. So you got a quick base, then you got a really obvious level that would trigger the move at 100 and above it. I mean, it's about as obvious of targets as you can draw up, right? The first one is the retest of the February high, and then the secondary target would be a move up to 106. Um, I've talked about this with options a few times. When you're buying options in while stocks are still in consolidations, it's a little bit more risky in the sense that it might not trigger. So yes, like Walmart looks pretty good. It looks like it wants to make a run, but it might not trigger. But the benefit of doing that is that typically the contract, the implied volatility is going to be lower, right? Because like the ranges haven't expanded yet. You haven't got that like breakout, that breakout and run where you had like you see like the range expand on the stock, right? The volume come in on the stock, the volume come in on the options, like the contracts get bid up, right? So there's give and take. Like you get in during a consolidation on the options and it might not trigger, but at the same time you get in while it's in a consolidation, it does trigger, then the prices are going to be better than had you had waited, right? So this is what I want to put on your radar. Again, kind of like Williams Sonoma, I'm trying to focus on those stocks in retail that are in bullish setups that had solid earnings and weren't really rewarded, or even if they were rewarded, maybe not too extended. So Costco is a little bit extended at this point, right? Like so, like that's one of those names where just compare it to say like a Walmart, right? Where so this thing had good earnings and it's taken off higher, right? But Walmart is still in that base, still looking for that breakout. So that's why I'm focused on some of these names that yes, they might not have really done a whole lot in the last couple of months, but that's also part of the reason why I'm looking at them. All right. So let me know what you think. I'm trying to get some different ideas out there, right? I mean, it's not it hasn't been the busiest couple weeks, but there's still plenty of opportunity, and literally before you know it, earnings season is going to be off and running. So the news will pick up. Um, Hopefully the volume picks up. It's been a little lethargic this week, so that'd be nice. Get the volume going, get the action going, get the earnings going. Give a good combination of a bunch of things coming into play all at once. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, let me know what you think about Walmart. Let me know what you think about Williams Sonoma, or let me know what you think about just any trade in general, or if you want to bounce an idea off me. Love to hear from you guys. All right. So have a great night, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.